Welcome back to the show. Many thanks for staying. Ghana should be ready to give GMOs a chance if the country is serious about ensuring food security. But that's according to coordinator of the Open Forum for Agricultural Biotechnology, Daniel Otunge. The Council for Scientific and Industrial Research is currently undertaking trials for GMO cotton, cowpea and rice as part of regular procedures before they would be allowed onto the market. And the first batch of GMOs is expected on the market next year. There have been protests by some civil society groups who claim that GMOs are unsafe, a view that scientists have challenged. Daniel Otunge joins me in the studio. He's with the African Agricultural Technology Foundation. Sir, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let's start by giving you the chance to defend GMOs. I mean, there has been several defenses, but if you were to defend it in the fewest words possible, how would you challenge the notion by some of the civil society groups that GMOs are dangerous to our health?
Oh, thank you very much again for having me. My name is Daniel Otunge. I work with the African Agricultural Technology Foundation as the coordinator of the Open Forum on Agricultural Biotechnology in Africa. And OFAB basically helps to create awareness on agricultural biotechnology from a point of view of information, point of view of evidence and science. We partner mostly with the scientists so that our people in Africa get the facts about biotechnology. And I think this is related to the issues of safety that you are talking about. Okay. And one of the things that we need to know is that genetically modified organisms, or GMOs as they are referred to commonly, have been consumed for almost 30 years, since 1996. And nobody has ever gone to any hospital claiming that they are sick out of GMOs. So it is neither here nor there for somebody to claim that this technology or these products can actually cause some health challenges to people. For example, look at CSIR, which you said is doing research. The CSIR has been feeding Ghanaians with very safe products for many, many years. And I think the people of Ghana have trust on their premier research organization for the things that they are doing. For example, if they say they wanted to do research in the technologies that you mentioned, there must be a reason to it. And one of the reasons why they have to do that, and I will tell you from point of information, is that using conventional methods to develop these products that you're looking at to control diseases, to control pests, has become very difficult.
Why?
Because pests keep on changing. Because of climate change, pests keep changing. Diseases, new diseases are emerging. New pests like viral diseases are emerging and attacking crops. And the challenge that CSIR faces is to ensure that they find technologies that are better suited and protected.
So essentially this is to make the crops or the foods that we produce here more pest resistant. But then people have said that there are side effects to every let's say if you're taking medicine, even paracetamol, whatever it is that you're taking, that over the years you get to live with some sort of consequences. Are you saying that, I mean, and I don't even find it realistic, like many will, that it will be devoid of any side effects at all? How do you respond to that?
Nobody says that there could be no side effect to any technological solution to challenges that we have. But one thing I can assure you of is that when there is anything that comes out as a result of a new technology, whether it's a mobile phone, whether it's an aeroplane, whether it is a pen or medicine that we use, it is the scientist who will find solutions to the same problems that we face.
So do we know at this point the likely effect?
From what I can say is that the GM crops that are in the field or in the market right now that we consume when we travel to Europe, to America, and everywhere else have gone through very, very rigorous tests by the regulatory authorities, like the National Biosafety Authority in Ghana has all the qualified staff that are able to to assess all the possible risks that you can find in this product.
Okay.
If anything escapes, it's just because maybe it escaped because of anything, but not that the scientists are not doing the right thing. The GM crops that we have, the GMOs, have gone through the most rigorous test, more than even the conventional crops that we have. In fact, if a GM crop is even checked, you find that it could be able to not to have even allergies. It will not be able to have challenges like allergies that you find in groundnuts, for example, because the science will be used to detect that and be able to remove it.
I see. Let's address this issue about. We know that most of the research and the research, scientific background checks, etc., everything that's been done has been heavily supported by Western countries. And so let's address the issue of Western technology that is being imposed on local farmers, or say African farmers, to, so to speak, make them forever dependent on them for their seeds. What's the response to that as well?
Agricultural technologies all over the world that I know of, starting from the green revolutions in the 60s and early 70s, are culture neutral. They are continent neutral. They are color neutral, religion neutral. These are technologies that are developed by scientists that have studied using the same methodologies to develop technologies, whether they are operating in the US or they're operating in Europe or they're operating in Africa. As you said it yourself, the crops being worked on here in Ghana are being developed by Ghanaian scientists. They are not American scientists. And CSR...
But the American the technology is not Ghanaian technology.
It is Ghanaian technology, because Ghanaians are the ones who are doing the back crossing into the crops that they have, using the gene that they need to put into the beans, for example, to make it resistant to Maroka, which is a very huge pest that destroys cowpea beans in this country. And you know how cowpea is very important. So it is up to Africa. And this is my information. It is up to Africa to look out there for the technologies that are beneficial to us, see how they can domesticate them in the best way possible, and that is exactly what CSIR is doing. That is what the African Agricultural Technology Foundation that negotiates with the owners of these technologies do, to make sure that if there are royalties on them, they are removed, so that the cost of the seed, once it's finally put on the market, is actually reduced and affordable to our small-scale farmers. So
we're sure that farmers are not going to have to deal with patent issues and suits, etc., because this is patented, right? It is somebody's technology, yes. So you cannot reproduce it without their permission.
Farmers in Ghana and any part of Africa that are going to benefit from the cowpea developed by CSIR, cowpea developed in Burkina Faso or Nigeria, will not pay anything, because these are what we call public goods. These are goods developed using public resources like CSIR. So the royalty that was there was already negotiated by AATF that I work for, and therefore the technology is now fully owned when it's finally developed by CSIR. And the same way that beans have been sold in the market is the same way the market forces will determine the price of the bean in the market. The farmers can even keep and save the seeds and replant them if they want.
But we know also that GMOs have been banned in places in Europe, etc. So why is Africa now beginning to clamor for something that other countries have realized have problems and are banned?
Actually, Africa is too late for this technology. We are still actually talking about transgenic or GMOs, whereas the global community that you're referring to have moved to a new technology altogether. Remember, the technology we are talking about is over 20 years in use, since 1996. That is 10 decades.
So if I get you right,
patent is 10 years.
So if I get you right, they have used it and moved on to another technology.
technologies.
But that means that they found out that it wasn't.
No, they keep on using even up to now.
But actually, they found some of them have banned it because perhaps they realized that it wasn't good enough for them.
Actually, the thing is, they actually don't discard the whole thing. Like, for example, there is what is called the stack gene in a crop. For example, if you find that a crop needs to be protected against pest, you put what is called the BT gene to protect it against the insect attack.
So why don't we go for the technology, the new technology?
Then you also add maybe drought resistance. You know, climate change is a major problem now. You add drought resistance and the crop becomes drought resistant. You can also add herbicide tolerance so that farmers don't have to bend their backs and crack it to get a handful.
So the
thing is, we need to move.
So hold on for me, sir. What I want to find out is why we won't move ahead. If people have used an abundant dates, why won't we go for what they're using now, if that is a better option?
What I mean, what we have currently that we are cropping, let me assure you, are the worst performing seed technologies or varieties that you can have in the world. For example, the cowpea that is being grown in Ghana, the best performing is the worst in Brazil, for example.
So it depends
on the level where you are. If you put, and this is why CSR is doing this and many other African agricultural research institutes, that's why they are asking for this technology so that they partner with those who have it, so that they put it in our crops to improve their performance. And one thing that is important is that the youth in Africa needs to get so much into agriculture, but they don't want to get into it because it's too difficult. But if you make seed technologies that can remove the need for weeding, the need for plowing and all that, agriculture will be made very lovely and attractive to the youth.
I see. Hopefully it will. Finally, tell me please about the cotton, the rice, and the cowpea that is being developed here in Ghana. You did mention that basically everything scientific, there will be problems, there will be side effects, but it's the same scientists who will find the solutions to it. What are the known side effects of these ones that are about to be rolled out onto the Ghanaian markets, cotton, rice, and cowpea? Are there any known side effects coming with it so far?
If there were any known side effects, they would have been removed. So there is none that is known. In fact, the European Union conducted 25 years of research on GMOs and another 10 years after they were already commercialized on GMOs, and published a report which concluded that there is no effect of these technologies on the environment, on human beings, and also on livestock. And based on that assurance, and because these people also have the best equipment and laboratories to be able to deal with some of these issues that we may not be able to see, we say, well, why not Africa also benefit from these very beneficial technologies? And one thing we need to put across to our people is that, Africa depends on agriculture. 70 to 80% of our economies relies on agriculture. Don't you think it is actually an irony that Africa again is the continent that is the most food insecure? We need to do something, and we cannot solve the agriculture's problems without adopting the best solutions that will be brought to us by science, technology, and innovation.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for coming. So next month, the rice, the cowpea, and the cotton will be on the market. Is that correct?
No, it's
next year.
It can take maybe even another 2 years because the regulatory process takes very long. So CSIR and NBA in Ghana will do the right thing, and when they are ready, they will inform everybody.
Well, hopefully,
and maybe you call me back here to say, well, we have it.
Hopefully, but I think that people will still have to work their minds through, work their psyche on the side effects, possible side effect. But of course, you've thrown a lot of light on that. So thank you very much for coming. Daniel Otunge is with the African Agricultural Technology Foundation, and they are looking into it. So We understand that CSIR, of course, is looking into producing the cotton, rice and cowpea GMO on the market. Thank you, sir, once again.